Hey guys, so I'm your Color Street stylist, Monica. I like to do things a little bit differently. I'm not like the typical MLM kind of person. I'm not really like salesy or all that, so I'm not gonna push a kind of live sale. I'm gonna pre-record this and post it, and then I'll do a live Q&A. So I can actually pay a little bit more attention to the questions. I've seen other lives done like this where people are asking questions and they're the consultant's a little bit more busy with what they're doing than being able to answer the questions. So I think this will work a little bit better. Plus I can pause it in case there's distractions. I have two kids. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-month-old, so there's a lot of distractions around here. So right now what I'll show you is how I personally take these off. These nails I have on right now, or these strips I have on right now, I've had on since last Thursday night I put them on. So it's been 7, 8, like 9 days that I've had these on for. They last a pretty darn good long time. The solid, you really should put like a top coat on them. They're a little bit more thinner, so I don't know, they tend to crack if they're really thin. It's just good to give it that little extra boost on there. I personally I use the Clear as Day. That tends to sell out a lot too. So, if you don't have that, you could put an overlay on it, which, it's the clear strips with like a glitter or a design on it. You can double up on them, and that's actually what I did on these. I doubled up, and let's see if I can get it to show. I mean, I'm not even all that perfect either with that. I don't know if that's focusing good enough, but you could see where I tried doubling up on there, and it didn't line up perfectly, but that's okay because nobody notices anyways. I actually had this one chip a little bit. It's not focusing. There we go. I had this one chip a little bit on the tip, and all I did was just cut my nails shorter. And they still look really nice. They look like they were just done yesterday or even last night. So I like that aspect with these. So I know I posted the little water in the bowl trick, so I'm going to do that really quick. So I've got my Mineral Fusion. It's almost out, so it's a good thing that I learned this trick with the water bowl too. So you just kind of pour like a tablespoon or so. Just gotta eye it. A little more. Okay. So pretty easy. Just get your hands in there, dip it in here, kind of spreads it out. So Color Street itself was launched in June of 2017, and the man who created Color Street, Fa Park, he actually had created this idea a long time ago, and he released it in different forms before this. And actually, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but I used to buy the Sally Hansen strips like this about 10 years ago or so, and I love them. And they started getting harder and harder to find, cooler designs and whatever, so I just stopped buying them. They were $10 at Walgreens, and sometimes they'd have them for like buy one get one half off, and I would just go to town and buy a bunch of them. This is them. And he just opened up a company that he made them a little bit better. They're the exact same strip, and they're awesome, and I loved them back then, and I was so happy when I found them again like this. And their colors that they have and designs are just, I love them. You can mix and match and do all kinds of stuff. My favorite thing is to do layering, and I can show you in the comments. I'll post a picture of what I mean by the layering. That's usually a fun look, but it ends up taking some planning to do. Let's see where we at. Okay. Yeah, this takes a little bit. Let's see. Almost there. So, yeah. I usually like to, have more than one color on. So just for demonstration purposes today, I'm gonna do 2 colors, just because I'm gonna open up a used pack and kind of mix and match. But still, I'm gonna keep it simple just for a demonstration purpose. Let's see, where are we at? So yeah, with this you just rub your fingers over the nail and everything comes off. A little extra on there. All gone. I just kind of dip it in the water, rinse it off a little bit. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to pause this and wash my hands after this just to get all that off because I like to keep them clean before I put the new nails on. You could just keep the same, go right back in here with the other hand, keep the same liquid in there. All right, so I'm going to pause this really quick, finish this up, and then I'm going to go wash my hands and I will be back. All right, so I'm back. So first and foremost, important thing for me to show you is I've been wearing these consistently for a year and a half now. And when I say consistent, I mean I take them off, I put a new set back on. There's no, day or two in between. I don't like to let them air dry. I just put them on and they don't yellow. I was having some issues with some nail polishes that when I would put them on and I'd have them on for a few days, I'd take off the nail polish and my nails would be yellow. And they're not yellow. So if you can see that, hopefully that focuses pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate how to put them on. Pretty easy. You get your pack. There's a pack of strips. There's going to be 2 sets of strips in here. I'll open it and show you when I get to there. Let's see. There is also a alcohol swab in here to kind of, alcohol them before that. You get a cute little nail file. I don't like to use these. I usually keep them on the side. I like to use my own. So let's see. I open them a little bit differently. They have a perforation on here, but I open them a little bit differently so that I can, just for my own sake, I keep where the name is, and that's usually where the perforation is. So I open them upside down, and I cut them open. For me, it's easier to adjust the size of it so when I reseal them again. So we will open them up, and I will show you. You get 2 sets of strips in here. So that's 2 full sets. Essentially, this is supposed to be one hand and the other hand. But I'm going to show you some tricks to be able to use one of these strips for 2 nails. That's usually what I do, and then I have a whole bunch of these sitting in a little pouch that I get to keep them for later too. Let's see. Get this out. Okay. So I'll go through and pull them out. Figure out which ones I'm gonna do, which size is gonna coincide with the ones that I'm gonna use. I like to use the biggest thumb one for my thumbs. It's just easier for me to separate the 2 of them and use them on 2. So you want to cut and prep your nails, file them and everything before you get started. I don't really care. I'm not that picky with mine, so I mean they are where they are right now. So you alcohol prep them. Just kind of wipe off any excess oils on the nails. You can also use the cuticle stick. I have a metal one. I also like to use the wooden orange stick. Just kind of press back the cuticles a little bit. Gives a little bit extra exposure on the nail. Plus then I can tuck the polish strip underneath so the cuticle grows over them. There isn't that little lip that can form at the cuticle area where it tends to get caught when you're running your hands through your hair. Do that real quick. Okay. So in these strips, they have like a really big size and a really small size. I know a lot of people, this really small size will never fit them. Sometimes I'll use this and I'll cut it up in different shapes and I'll use them on my toes instead. But for the most part, I can actually use the 1/2 of this for one of my fingers. I just got to stretch it out a little bit. I've seen other consultants say that they use this for like blemishes, like if they don't have, like what I showed you earlier, that it didn't stretch across the nail all the way, that they'll cover it up like that. Glitters are really good with that because they hide that. It's a little bit more obvious with the solid colors, but when you're using the glitters, you can't even tell that it even happened. So we will get started. I'm gonna do, let's do the pinky with the Tokyo lights. Okay, so they have a protective strip on them. So you lift that off. Let's get that plastic piece off. And then you peel the backing off of it. You'll end up finding your own little way to do this. I have my own little set ways too. So I like to stretch it just a little bit, very carefully. And line it up. I have to face it towards me, and then I'll show. All right, so I lined it up right at the cuticle. Spread it, spread it. I push down a little bit. I like to push down over my nail a little bit. And then I use my thumbnail and I push down. And then it comes off. So we've got one. Leave this on the side in case I need it. I like to take the cuticle stick again, just kind of smooth down the ends, just so that they're not sticking up. And in case there's any excess, I can kind of push down and wipe them off with this. File it off a little bit. Okay, that one's done. Next nail. Take off the strip. Take off the tab. This one I know I won't really need to stretch. Lay it down. Again, line it up at the cuticle. Press, press. And then again, I use my nail and I press right underneath. Now here's where you can get two strips, two nails out of one strip. Carefully pull it. And now I still have enough for another strip. For me, I know that this will fit on this, but can I get it here? Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm gonna get this, use it for, stretch it just a little, ever so little. Get it on that finger. All right, that's perfect. So press, press, press. And peel it off. And with this one, there is a little bit of excess that went over on the side. I either take it off with my fingernail again, or I use the cuticle stick. You know, whatever ends up being your preference is what you do. You're not going to do them perfectly the first handful of times. I still don't do them perfectly, and like I said, I've actually been using these for 10 years now. These specifically Color Street for, you know, a year and a half, but, you know, even I come out with some nails that are messed up a little bit, and it happens. It's okay. You know, we're not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect. So that's 2. All right, let's get solid going. So those are my accents. So this one fits this way. This one will go on both ring fingers. Oh, I ripped that. So apparently no. That will only go on one ring finger. Lay it down. Now, Color Street does not guarantee if you save your strips like what I do. And that's what these were. They were saved, you know, I put them back in the package. I resealed them. So Color Street doesn't guarantee them that. They guarantee them for one-time use. So something that I've learned, sometimes they'll dry out. And these ones are a little bit dried out right now. When they do, they are 100% nail polish. So you can take your hair dryer and blow your hair dryer on it a little bit. It will loosen it up again. It'll, you know, kind of melt it. So you can do that. And I mean, as long as they're not completely dried out. So this one I probably could have used that on, but I've got my 8-month-old napping right now, so it's not really a good idea to run that. He wakes up for every single little noise. So smoothing that out. And I will show you what I'm talking about, that it's not always going to be perfect. But at least there's no fingerprints, no smudges. I don't have to go back and repaint it and put on a whole nother layer again. But see, it's, you know, it's a little wrinkly. That's okay. It smooths out after it starts to dry more. File that down. Smooth it out more. There we go. All right, so I'm going to pause it, finish these up, just so you're not sitting here watching me in silence, and kind of keep the video a little bit shorter, and I will be back. All right, so I've gotten the fingers done. I'm gonna, I turn it back on to show you the thumbs just one more time. I actually, while I had the video off, I was deciding to put this Tokyo Lights over that, that Portugal, the purple that I had sitting on there. Thinking because this Tokyo Lights looked a little thinner, more see-through, so I thought it would show up a little bit better, but I mean, you can see it's just slightly darker, but I mean, oh well, they're still really pretty, really sparkly, doesn't matter, I'm fine. But you know, it's fun to experiment with the different stuff like that. You know, if you notice that one looks a little bit more see-through, you can try and put it on top of another one, create another color. You know, it can be a little bit more of an accent, but that's okay. These are gonna look like one solid color across the whole thing, and that's fine by me. So the cool thing with these, especially the glitters and the solid colors, what you can do is you, especially people who have wider nails, you don't have to put them on up and down like this. You can put them on sideways. So for me, when I split them between my thumbs, I use the biggest one. That way I have a little bit more space. I usually keep my thumbnails, or actually all of my nails, pretty short as it is. So it's easier for me to be able to use one strip for 2 fingers. People who have a little bit longer nails, they're going to end up needing to use 1 strip per finger. So what I end up doing is I can actually use the bigger one, and sometimes I have to turn it. So I'll, you know, go up and down on the one and then split it and then turn it and put it on the other one. Sometimes I have to stretch it out a little bit. Sometimes I like to cut it. There's another way that you can do it that way, and I'm going to show it that way. So I will take these off and I will demonstrate what I mean by cutting it. So I get about halfway down. I use the backing to kind of see where the halfway point is, and then I'll cut it in half. And then I have my half. So let's see, that won't fit that way, so we're gonna put it on sideways. So I line it up in the corner like that. Push it down, press it across. There we go. Take off the excess. Just gently peel it. Pardon my dog coughing in the background if you hear that. She has an enlarged heart, so it cuts off her trachea and it makes it harder for her to breathe. So that's what that coughing is in the background. Don't worry, no one here has the corona. All right. File that up a little bit. Some of these glitters too, if they have chunkier glitters and you get a big piece of glitter at the very edge, it's easier if you take a nail clipper and you cut that off than it is to actually file it, because you know, filing's not really going to cut that piece of glitter in half, but you can cut the piece of glitter in half with the nail clippers and it'll be a little bit easier so you don't have a big chunk of glitter sticking off. And these strips, this color, Tokyo Lights, isn't it? Yes, Tokyo Lights. This one's a very popular one. And this one, whenever it's back in stock again, it sells out pretty quick. And I can see why, because it's gorgeous. And I think I'm actually going to buy another pack after this one. This is the first time I've used it. All right. So we've got that one done. Now I go back to the other strip, the other half of the strip. Make sure it fits. Gonna need to stretch it out just a little. And when I say just a little, like, you pull it very carefully. If you pull it a little too hard, it will break. And then you'll have to get a new one. Worst case, I just use that second biggest thumb one. So again, line it up on the edge. Press down, press it across. And it went all the way across. Now, since I've got this strip on my other nail, I'm not gonna go to town digging into this nail, just so that this can go undisturbed. I'll use my orange cuticle stick for that. File this up first. Let me turn on my hair straightener so I can show you. Okay, got that up and going. And when I'm done, I will demonstrate to you how you can reseal the packs. But again, like I said, Color Street does not guarantee the nails if they're resealed. Or nail strips, I apologize. Smooth it out, and I will peel off the excess with my cuticle stick. These are dry. I mean, when I say that they have to cure, it means that they're, you know, completing drying basically. So you want to not submerge your hands in water for like, you know, 20-30 minutes. It'll help them stick a little bit better. I put these on and went and changed my son's diaper right away. So it's nice, you know, you don't mess it up in that aspect, but you know, you want to make sure that you're giving them a little bit extra time to adhere to the nail and complete drying. These aren't fully dry, and that's why I say that they need a little bit extra time to dry. But you know, getting them in the water, that's going to get water underneath, and that'll make it less sticky. All right, so we have complete. I have a full set. That took me, I don't know what, 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate resealing. So put them back in there. I'm gonna cut this a little bit shorter, just a little bit, because I need some excess to be able to seal with it. I just kind of take these, split them so that I can put them all together. A little bit more compact. And carefully put them back in, that way that protective cover doesn't get peeled off. Now usually for me, I keep a lighter, and I use a lighter, and I light the edge and light underneath to do that, but you gotta be really careful with that because, you know, like I said, these are 100% nail polish. That's flammable. So, and yes, I have lit my hand on fire by getting it too close. So let's make sure. All right. Should be hot enough. Okay, so resealing, super easy. Again, you can take the hair straightener, take your edge of your strip. Don't want to get too close because it's hot. It will melt it. They'll stick. So you get right up to this edge, push it down, slide it off. All right. And then we have a factory sealed edge again. Not open anymore. Very, very easy. I mean, look, I'm touching my face, everything. I can push my hands through my hair and it doesn't even mess them up. So that's what I love about these. You can just throw them on and go. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect. I can show you plenty of pictures where I've messed them up, and I've been doing them for 1.5 years and they're not going to be perfect. We're not nail techs. And that's the nice part, is we can have pretty looking nails and not be perfect. But, oh wow, I love this color. All right, so I'll post some pictures in the pictures in the comments to show you the nails that I just had on. Can show you what they looked like before, when I first put them on, what they look like right before I started this one, before I removed them. I'm also gonna do a live Q&A. That way, you know, you guys can watch the video, and then I'll just hang out and pay attention to the notifications and answer your questions, and, you know, just let me know if there's anything that you guys need to ask. Hopefully I covered as much as I can. All right, see ya.